Well, Shahed Sadullah is the former editor of a Pakistani daily in London, The News, and also a Pakistan affairs analyst. Thank you so much for joining us here on Al Jazeera. So this is the second major attack we've seen in Quetta in just, what, under a month,
Yes.
2 months, really. I mean, violence there is nothing new, but is it getting more intense, more frequent?
Well, it's certainly not getting better. Unfortunately, this is a thing that has been a part of the Pakistani scene for the last 15 or 20 years, whereas there was a time during which it was entirely immaterial who was a Shia, who was a Sunni. I mean, I remember growing up in Pakistan, and I was 17 years old before I found out that my mother was Shia and my father was Sunni. It was just not an issue. Nobody talked about it because nobody considered it of any importance.
Well, now, not only is it obviously causing all the sectarian violence, but the city's minority Shia community is actually saying they're not getting the protection needed. What do you make of that accusation?
Well, one can understand where they're coming from. One can understand their concerns because, when your loved ones and dear ones are killed in such a manner, you are obviously going to be very concerned and agitated about it. But from the government's point of view, one can again see, the Shia community is interspersed throughout Pakistan. And we are talking of a country of about 190 to 200 million people, over 312,000 square miles. Now, 20% of them are Shias. That means there are 40 million Shias in Pakistan, roughly. It's impossible for any government to go around protecting them.
But what is the government doing? Is the government at least doing something to try and protect the minorities?
Well, it had tried to ban organizations like the Lashkar-e-Jhangvi, which has claimed responsibility for this attack. But the ban is something which really exists only on paper. It doesn't do too much good on the ground, because what these organizations do is they do not function as organizations in the sense that you and I understand the term. They have a banner. They change that banner. Decisions like this to perpetuate attacks like this are taken by probably 2 or 3 people in a small dingy room somewhere at the back of beyond, in a crowded area or somewhere. So unless the intelligence is very good, it is difficult to see how the security agencies can really do something practical to stop it. And there are very many difficulties in getting good top-class first-hand intelligence. Firstly, because the people involved are so few. Secondly, because these people for them, human life means nothing. If they were to find out that anybody has been sort of grasping on them, they'd come and probably wipe out their whole family.
But surely if the government doesn't start doing something, it's going to cause even more tensions with what is a minority, but a very sizable one in Pakistan.
It is, yes, true. You see, I think the main emphasis of the government must come in the form of education, so that the sympathy that these guys enjoy, as you said, it's a minority, but it's not such a small minority after all. The sympathy that some of them enjoy, not for the killing, but broadly for the point of view and the value system they seem to project, that sympathy has to be eroded. And it is only then that this problem can really be realistically addressed.
Shahed Sadullah, independent Pakistan analyst, thank you so much for joining us.